We're going to get started up again with The Bell Tolls for No No by Todd Gardner. If everybody in that could come up to the stage. Everybody could come up to the stage.
I think so.
It's 8 o'clock. Time to dim the lights, settle in close to your radio, and steel your nerves. WIND is taking you on a trip into the realm of the frightening and the bizarre. A trip between the lines of reality with your host, Horatio Dark. We now join the master of the macabre, the antiquarian of the insane, your navigator through the netherworld, Horatio Dark, as he reads between the lines of reality.
Oh, hello there. It would appear you've caught me in the middle of eating my breakfast. This sounds familiar. What am I having for breakfast, you ask? Why, I'm having a well-balanced breakfast of fruit, milk toast, and Scarios! Yes, Scarios provides all the vitamins and minerals for any growing ghoul or boy. Everything from vitamin A to 2,4,5-triotoxin. Scarios also has that crispy crunch you come to expect from your morning cereal. Speaking of cereal, tonight we have another yarn in the tapestry that is the story of No-No and his pals. What adventures on the high plains will they find this time? Find out on The Bell Tolls for No-No by Todd Gardner here on Horatio Dark's Between the Lines.
British. Right, so give me a Western draw. Come on. Y'all. Thank you very much. I'm back and did you? Yes. The old north wind is picking up. It's the kind of wind that's cold and crisp and turns your lungs into icicles when you take a deep breath. It whispers, "Get ready. Winter is coming soon." Whoo-wee. Yes, sir. Nights like these are perfect for a good story. And yes, I know you all been after me to finish the tale of our friend No-No the Mime. And by gum, finish it I will. What's that? Did No-No and Rose find the last two members of their circus family? Did Jonah and Delilah May White stay together? Well, those are exactly the questions I'm fixing to answer. The fire's roaring and the coffee's hot. So sit back and listen close.
Yes, Delilah May?
I was just thinking.
Oh, thanks for the warning.
Oh, hush, you rascal. I'm serious.
All right then, Delilah May. What's on your mind?
What happens when we get out west?
How do you mean?
I mean, we've all been so focused on getting to California that we haven't put much thought into what we're going to do once we get there.
We're getting some land, right?
Well, yes, we are. We're getting some land through the Homestead Act.
Boy, howdy, and I'm going to build us a home on our land.
Of course you are, Jonah. But we've got nothing solid lined up. Our savings will only last so long. We're going to need money. It's all a bit scary, don't you think?
I reckon it is, but we'll get by.
What happens after we run out of money?
We'll figure out some ways to make more. It's not like we ain't skilled in some ways. I figured I could get hired on somewhere that needs my woodworking skills. All those new settlements ain't gonna build themselves.
Right, but what will I do?
I kind of figured that you were gonna tend to the chores and keep the house tidy.
Jonah White, you must have left your head in the bedroll this morning. Do you honestly think I'm gonna stay at home and chase a broom around?
Well, now that you mention it, I can't rightly see you chasing a broom. I reckon you'd be more likely to ride one in the moonlight.
Oh, Jonah, you're the worst. Keep waggling that silly tongue of yours and I'll cut it out and use it in a potion.
I've newt, wing of bat, a pinch of this and a pound of that.
Cauldron, cauldron, burning bright. Keep it up, Buster, and you're gonna sleep alone tonight.
The way you snore, that might not be so bad. But speaking of cauldrons, you do seem to like cooking. Maybe you could find some work doing that. I imagine the good people of California have to eat just like everybody else.
Oh, maybe I could, but I'm not sure. Jonah, do you even like my cooking?
Well, I mean, it ain't killed me yet. And you managed to keep it interesting by mixing in some of them new fangled ingredients from the general store, so, I guess I do.
Oh, Jonah, I'm feeling faint. Your silver tongue has me weak in the knees.
Oh, come on now, Delilah May. I just said I like to cooking.
Be careful there, Jonah. Someone might think you're trying to woo me all over again.
Ah, shoot, Delilah May, don't be like that. I'm just being honest. Well, I'll starve to death if I had to cook. You're darn good at it.
Oh, yeah? What's your favorite dish of mine?
If I had to pick only one, I'd say it's a chili. It's hot enough to set fire to a bank vault in December.
No. How long have you been standing there? I swear you're so quiet.
Well, he is a mine.
Nice one, Jonah. Good morning, Jonah. Good morning, Delilah May. I'm sorry I startled you.
It's all right, No. I should put a dang bell on him like a dang house cat.
Say, Jonah, can I offer you a bit of advice?
Of course, no.
When you find yourself digging in a hole, you should probably stop digging. You've seen that look in Delilah May's eyes before, and you're racing down the wrong path, bucko.
Now you tell me.
No's right. We'll see how you like it when I only give you a half plate at supper time.
Oh, dang it.
She has you there, Jonah. But Delilah May isn't lying about the chili. It's as hot as hell fire. And that being said, I find it absolutely delicious.
See there, Jonah? That's the way you compliment a lady. No, you just earned the other half of Jonah's portion.
Well, thank you kindly, Delilah May.
Dang it all, no. You know something? I know you're a mime and all, but you seem to have a real way with words.
Okay, everyone, soup's on.
Ooh, what do we have in today?
Eggs with Boston baked beans and Tabasco sauce. I went ahead and added some of that new armor canned meat that we got from our last trip into town. We also have some leftover cornbread that you can use to sop it all up.
I hope you have some of that horrible coffee.
Of course, grab yourself a cup.
Thank you again, Delilah May. This all sounds delightful.
Well, help yourselves. There's plenty.
Interesting term, plenty. The American dream of the West is built on the notion of plenty. There's plenty of land, plenty of opportunity. Heck, at any time, there are even plenty of buffalo that roam the plains. But times change. Many folks thought westward expansion and the poetic notion of sea to shining sea was not only inevitable, but a divine right. They referred to it as manifest destiny. Woo!
I reckon we should all eat our fill today. I don't imagine we'll be stopping much before nightfall.
Why is that, Pete?
We're crossing some difficult country.
Difficult? How do you mean?
The route we're taking cuts through some of the old Navajo lands.
Why on earth would we be headed into trouble like that?
I ain't never had a problem with Indians.
Well, bully for you, Jonah. But which tribe? Their peoples and cultures are as vast and varied as the clouds in the sky.
Well, I guess I never thought of it that way.
But most don't. But I can tell you what they all have in common, though.
And what would that be?
They all have a deep and a righteous hatred towards the uninvited European folk and their descendants who decided to take their land away from them.
The native tribes, the Africans, the Chinese, the Irish, and how many blacks are we going to climb over this, to build this so-called nation of ours?
It wasn't much better back in Ireland.
Pete, have you ever dealt with the Navajo tribe?
I have. When I was sheriff, some of our less enlightened townsfolk would try to start a ruckus when they would happen into town.
Why am I not surprised?
I think the Navajo were genuinely appreciative that someone was standing up on their behalf. In fact, I was once invited to go back to their camp with them and to sit with the elders. Their shaman, Toya, gave me a gift. He took an arrow from one of the warriors and snapped off the arrowhead and handed it to me. He communicated that it was a token of respect and a symbol of our accord. He said as long as I possessed it, I would have no quarrel with any of his people. I assured the elders that all Navajo were always welcome in my town, and that if any of them had any trouble, they could count on me to help. Some of their children would come by and help Alma out at the stables. Kindness begets respect. Respect begets understanding. Understanding begets friendship.
Well stated, Pete. But as far as your native tribes go, I didn't think there were any left in these parts.
Yeah, I'd heard that our dang government just up and marched them all off. They made them walk 300 miles, men, women, and children. That was just terrible what they did to them, and to all them tribes like that. In my mind, there's plenty of land for everyone. I know I'd be pretty vexed if someone tried to take mine.
Well, some of them hid, and some left the reservation and made their way back. That whole business was why I left the Army. After the Civil War, I couldn't be part of an outfit that would take action against folks within their own borders, especially those that were here before us. It just didn't seem right.
Nope, it's not right at all.
I'm sure that was a tough choice to make, Pete, but I guess it just shows what a good man you are.
You know, Pete, I didn't know that you were in the Army. You never really talked about it.
Yeah, I was. I was in the 38th United States Colored Infantry Regiment. We were fighting in Virginia and then Texas. I don't tend to talk about it too much, Rose. It's not who I am anymore.
Fair point, Pete. I suppose that's where you learned to shoot?
No, sir. I learned to shoot as a child of a free man and wanted to make sure our freedom wasn't temporary. Knowing how to shoot was what kept me and my men alive in that so-called Civil War.
Point taken.
And with that, the travelers ate their breakfast in contemplative silence. Their thoughts ranged from where they were going to how far they'd come. These thoughts weren't limited to actual miles, though. They also pondered the miles traveled by their collective souls. They also pondered the emerging soul of our young nation. The amount of hatred, slavery, and bigotry they had seen weighed heavily on all of them. They had confronted capital E, evil on many levels. How far had we as a nation actually come? How many more miles was it left to go? Could we make the journey? I don't know.
Oh dear, here I am, welling with pride over the strides we've made, but also the distance we still have to go. Much like me animating this corpse. I've been able to get it to sit up, but I have much more work to do before I can do my taxes.
You're right, Horatio. We do have a long way to go. And do you know what will stay with us the entire way? The flavor of Charlie's thick-cut chewing tobacco. Yes, Charlie's thick-cut chewing tobacco has the guaranteed long-lasting flavor that will ride with you into the sunset. Just ask any cowboy. 9 out of 10 cowboys choose the mellow, long-lasting taste of Charlie's thick-cut chewing tobacco. Now in our new mint and tomato flavors. And now, part 2 of The Bell Tolls for No-No by Todd Gardner here on Horatio Dark's Between the Lines.
All right. After packing up their gear, No-No, Jonah, Pete, Rose, not to be confused with Pete Rose, Alma, and Delilah May rode west. They were apprehensive, but full of purpose. They had 500 more miles to go before they reached California. The heaviness of the morning dissipated like fog upon seeing the raw beauty that the West had to offer. As they rode through what would become the state of Utah, they did tell many stories. Some of them were even true. The sun was low on the horizon and the shadows became longer. They were riding through a painted valley when suddenly...
Hold steady now. We got company.
Pete, are we in trouble here?
What do we do, Pete? Should I get the rifles?
No, Jonah, just be calm.
My stars, I'm more nervous than a one-armed man in a clapping contest.
Everyone, just follow my lead. We're going to do nothing.
Easier said than done. They're coming awful fast.
Rose, don't flash those knives of yours. We don't want to give them any reason to attack.
Everyone, just listen to Pete. He's done this before.
Alma's right. It's Pete's show.
Hello there, friends.
Friends, that remains to be seen. Are you lost? It would seem that you are very far from home.
You have no idea how far, but we are not lost. My name is Pete, and my friends and I are just passing through. What do they call you?
They call me Atza. I believe that translates to eagle in your language. This is Kilchi, Red Boy, and Sani, which means...
It means old one. I take it that you're Navajo.
We are. How did you know?
I had the pleasure of meeting one of your elders, the one called Toya. In fact, he gave me this arrowhead. He said as long as I owned it, I'd face no quarrel with the Navajo people.
Sani, do you recognize it?
I do. That is indeed Toya's arrow, and he doesn't give them away lightly. You must be a good man. Towa's words are true. You will find no quarrel with us.
Thank you, Sani.
It would seem that we are friends after all.
I hope so.
Sonny, I hope I'm not out of line, but I couldn't help but notice those unusual clubs you have strapped to the side of your horse.
I was wondering the same thing. Where did you get them?
I received them in trade from one who dances with air.
One who dances with air? What on earth does that mean?
As we were riding, we came across 2 men. They too were far from home. One of them asked for help. He said that he and his friend were lost, and they had been separated from those that they loved. They seemed gentle. Their movements toward us and each other did not speak of war. Their eyes were kind and playful, like young Naish Duetso.
Naish do what?
Naish do it so. Cougars. He's saying cougar cubs.
Ooh, I get it.
Please go on, Oxa.
At first we chose not to help them. We've become quite weary of trusting the white man.
Ha! Can't say I blame you there. What changed your mind?
The one who dances with air did. He offered to trade us these clubs for our help. He said he'd show us what they could do.
And what did he do then?
He placed the clubs into his hands and began throwing them into the sky, one at a time. It's as if he was offering them to a coy and playful wind, who threw them back to him. But as his hands and the clubs moved faster, his eyes became narrow and focused. The wind and this man danced together. As they danced, sacred patterns were carved into the sky. Clearly the wind was amused, for when he stopped, a strong breeze moved across the sand.
Could they be talking about Jake the juggler?
It's possible, Alma. Answer. Did this air dancer have a name?
Yes, I believe his friend, the one who makes terrible sounds, called him Jake.
One who makes terrible sounds. Tell me about him.
Jake's friend was loaded down like a pack mule. He had a drum and strange items attached to his body that whistled, clanged, and squawked as he walked. That sound was like birds battling bees near a dying buffalo.
I imagine that could be Cisco Instrumental.
I reckon so, Rose. Atza, do you know where these men are now?
I do.
Can you take us to them? It would really mean a lot to us. The loved ones they mentioned, that's us. No, Rose, Alma, and I started a journey together, and we'd like to finish it together.
Sonny, what do you think?
I've already said they would have no quarrel with us. Pete holds the arrow from Toya. That means he's helped our kind before. Who are we to keep him and his friends from their loved ones?
All of this is true. Sonny often speaks what our hearts already know. We will take you to them. It will take a long day of riding, and the sun has grown heavy. We should stop here for the night and rest.
Well, they all share the bone. That was crazy. They all shared the warmth of the fire. The Navajo tribesmen sang and told tales of those that had come before them. Jonah asked about 1,000 questions and listened with childlike wonder to all their answers. Rose, No, Pete, and Alma were hardly able to contain their emotions at the thought of reuniting with Cisco and Jake. Delilah served up a batch of chili that would likely become the source of Navajo folklore for generations to come. Woo! They all drifted off to sleep. Not Greek chili, but they were all kept warm by the spirit of brotherhood, family, and kindness.
Oh boy! No, Rose, Pete, and Alma on the precipice of finding their long lost friends. Cisco and Jake. Oh, can you feel the excitement in the air? Boy, it feels like the time I was reunited with my old university friends. But then again, that feeling could have been the electricity, because I had to harness lightning to reanimate their bodies after I killed them.
Well, that sounds absolutely heartwarming, Horatio. But do you know what else murders your loved ones and leaves them on the side of the road to be picked up by buzzers and other carrion? Communism! How can you keep the communist menace at bay? With truth dollars, that's how. Your truth dollars fight communism in its own backyard, behind the Iron Curtain. Give truth dollars and get in the fight. Support the war effort and send your truth dollars to Crusade for Freedom, care of your postmaster. And now back to the thrilling conclusion of The Bell Tolls for No by Todd Gardner, here on Horatio Dark's Between the Lines.
As first light broke on the Painted Valley, the sun started mixing a rich palette of yellows, golds, and bronzes. Thank you very much. The Navajo worked first and fed their horses. Jonah and Delilah woke up next and started the fire up again and began making coffee and breakfast. The circus folk, not surprisingly, woke up last. They all broke camp, ate breakfast, and began to pack up their belongings.
Sonny, is Kilchi ready?
He is.
Ready? Ready for what?
Kilchi is going on what you would call a vision quest. We have all undergone this ritual in our past, and now it is his time. He will find his path, which will lead him to a spirit animal. He will then rejoin our tribe and become the man he is destined to be. We left the reservation so that he could do this on our sacred land.
A ritual is important. I'm sorry you and your people were removed from your lands. It wasn't right.
No, it was not. But here we are.
Kilchi, it is time.
As Sandy recited the ancient invocations, Kilchi was embraced by Atsa. When Sandy fell silent, Kilchi embraced him. After Sandy whispered something to Kilchi, who nodded, they then turned away and walked off alone. He was unsure what he'd find. Whatever it was, he knew that he'd be forever changed. As Kilchi strode toward the horizon, they all watched in silent reflection.
We must go.
Kilchi has to be left alone now. We will join him on the second moon. But until then, this valley is his, and his alone.
You heard, Sandy. Gather the rest of your things and let's move out.
Well, they rode across the harsh and rocky skin of the desert beyond the valley until night began to fall. The image of Kilchi walking toward the horizon played over and over in the heads of the travelers. They saw a bit of themselves in Kilchi's vision quest. In many ways, they'd all been on their own paths and were finding themselves along the way. Jonah and Delilah May were seeking out a sliver of land that they could call their own. Pete and Alma were doing their best to find their place in a world that didn't particularly want them around. Rose and No-No had spent a torturous year apart, wrestling with the idea that they'd never hold each other again, or see their circus family again.
Okay, Atsa, which way are we headed?
Toward the setting sun.
West it is, everyone.
You need to ride ahead of us.
Why is that?
I reckon if the army sees Atsa, Santy behind us, they'll think we're returning them to the reservation.
Ah, and if they were in front of us, the army would think that we were their prisoners and might try to intervene.
They speak the truth.
I can't even say how sorry I am.
I know, Jonah, you're a good man, but yet again, here we are.
Those words were as true as they were heartbreaking. But in spite of it all, Sandy and Atsa managed to crack a couple of rare and private smiles. But Kilchi in the valley, they knew that another Navajo was embracing the past by bringing their timeless ritual into his heart, mind, body, and soul. It was the natural order of things. Kilchi's vision quest would eventually end, but the Navajo tribe added another chapter to their proud heritage. The two men smiled because in spite of a government not chosen by them, they were on sacred land and a part of something bigger than themselves.
This river is where we stop. Our horses can drink and we can make camp here for the night. Your friends are in the town just beyond the next valley toward the sleeping sun.
Thank you both for your help. We're truly indebted to you.
Pete's right. We've not seen them in over a year. The fact that they're alive, well, that was too much to wish for.
To stand in the way of love is like trying to hold back the flow of the white river with only your arms. Like water, love always finds a way to flow.
That's beautiful.
It's the truth. Let's all make camp. The valley is far too dangerous to cross at night.
Camp was made. The night was quiet. But No-No and Rose and Pete and Alma barely slept a wink. The next morning, the circus family was surprisingly the first to wake. Whew. After the others woke, our unlucky caravan packed quickly. No-No, Rose, Pete, and Alma were beyond excited for what the day had held in store. Woo-wee! As the clock struck noon, our travelers rolled into town. There was a bank, a general store, a boarding house, a blacksmith, a jail, and even a barber. There were many towns like this in the West, each walking the tightrope between success and failure in the fickle Western expansion.
Well, got us this far. What's the plan now?
We should separate and see if we can find them.
Let's go in pairs. The last time we were in a town like this, things got a bit sideways.
That's good thinking, Rose, but Delilah May and I haven't met your friends yet, so maybe we'll have to reshuffle a bit.
I'll go with Pete.
And I'll go with Jonah.
Alma, I guess this dance is mine.
They checked every building they could find and even asked about a man that made music and a juggler. But no one had seen anyone matching that description.
Have we checked everywhere?
Yep. Jonah and I checked the jail, and then the barber. We even got Jonah a long overdue shave and a haircut.
Well, heavens to Betsy, you're looking downright dapper, Jonah.
Oh, shucks, Delilah May, cut it out. You're embarrassing me.
Alma and I checked the bank and the blacksmith.
Delilah May and I checked the boarding house and the general store. They have no accounts at either place. No one seems to know them.
And I guess we'll keep moving west and keep looking. It's too late in the day to hit the trail. Anyone feel like doing a show? It's been a while. And it seems that this town might have a few coins to throw towards some entertainment.
As Jonah and Delilah May set up the targets for Rose and Pete, Alma groomed and prepped her horse. No and Rose applied fresh makeup and got ready. Showtime.
Gather round, ladies and gentlemen, kids and young and old. My name is Rose Dawn. I'm the best knife thrower on this side of the Mississippi River, and likely the other side as well. We're traveling performers, and we're going to give you the show that you'll never forget. We've got the straightest shooter in the West, Patapsco Pete, and we have his lovely wife, Alma Flynn, the equestrian. Lastly, we have the mime that's all mine. No.
Well, they started their show, and things went along swimmingly. Rose's knives found their mark, as did Pete's bullets. Alma rode with power, grace, and beauty, and no, not even the most stone-faced cowboys cracking up with laughter.
Hey, y'all, do you mind if we cut in?
Rose, no, Pete and Alma turned to see who was trying to horn into their show. And they saw two men they knew well, Cisco Instrumento and Jake the Juggler, in the flesh. Cisco was banging out a tune, and Jake was throwing a set of clubs in the air in beautiful, perfect cascading arts. See? Now, friends, there are a few moments as joyous and powerful as a family reunion pulled from the jaws of despair. The six of them, a family of their own choosing, had begun a journey clear on the other side of the country and had met with unspeakable evil. Despite all odds, here they are together, laughing and embracing in the middle of a dusty road, crying beautifully ugly, happy tears.
Oh, we've been looking for you all over.
Rose is right. We checked the saloon, the bank, the boarding house, the jail, the barber, and everywhere we could think of.
Did you use Jake and Cisco as our names?
Yes, of course. Oh, wait. You went with your real names, didn't you?
Well, no wonder no one had ever heard of you. Why would you use different names?
Well, we figured the showbiz life was behind us, so there was no need to use those names.
And all that trouble we escaped from, we didn't want it to find us again. In fact, I think I've only juggled once since all of that happened.
It's good that you did. We met Sandy and Atza. Sandy had your clubs on his horse, and they were kind enough to lead us here.
Of all the luck, saints be praised. But we're all here now, and it seems we've caught you fine folk in the middle of a show. So let's kick them in the heart.
Well, the crowd that gathered realized they were getting exactly what was advertised. A show they'd never forget. Not only did they see 6 performers together, again for the first time in well over a year, but something truly unexpected happened.
Thank you all so very much. You've been one of the best crowds we've ever had. Maybe we should find our long-lost friends at every show. If you'd like to help us on the last leg of our journey by throwing some coins into the hat, we'd be much obliged. Your cash will take us one step to getting out west, and one step closer towards getting drunk and undressed.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I might have a moment of your time. Perhaps I should start by introducing myself. My name is Josiah Black.
Oh no, what are the dead odds?
Just how many of Phineas's brothers are there?
I must say I was particularly moved by your reunion. It makes me wish I could enjoy one with my brothers as well.
Uh-oh. This sounds like trouble.
Boy, howdy.
But as you clearly know, that is really quite impossible now.
Brace yourselves.
But what's done, well, that's done. My brothers lived by the sword, and in the end, they died by the sword. As a young buck, I started down that same path myself. But fortunately, I realized that there was no treasure to be found. I beat my sword into a plowshare and my spear into a pruning hook. I chose a different path, one that was more spiritually fulfilling.
So, wait a minute. Are you saying you're a preacher?
That I am, Rose. One day I was staring at the wrong end of a 6-shooter. I knew I'd been outdrawn, and I fell to my knees. The hammer of his gun fell, heard a click, and nothing more. Then that hombre looked at his gun and squeezed the trigger again. Nothing happened.
Sounds like some shoddy gunsmithing.
Well, that's possible, but I'd like to think of it as divine intervention, Rose, but perhaps it's both. As I stood up, a voice in my head said, Josiah, if you reject your evil ways, you'll live to feel the cool rain on a hot day and the soft warmth of the springtime sun. If you don't repent, you'll burn for all of eternity.
So, I take it you repented?
In a manner of speaking, yes. I stood up, I looked at heaven and crossed myself and drew my pistol and shot that man right in between the eyes that tried to shoot me. See, I don't like unfinished business, but he was the last, and hand to God, I've not picked up guns since.
That's quite a confession.
It changed me. Yes, Lord, it did. But I wanted to do right in the world. And as it seems that fate and providence have brought us together, I want to do right by you and yours.
How so?
My brothers, well, they were not good men. I know this to be true. They've done grievous harm to all of you, and I want to make amends. I have no bone to pick with you. You had to end their lives because they surely would have ended yours.
That's true. We were just making our way across the country. We didn't ask for trouble.
I know that, Pete, and I'm truly sorry for their actions. But as I said, what's done is done. That's all in the past. What's important now is how we live going forward. I just wish there was something I could do for you and yours to settle the account between our families.
You know, there is just one thing you could do.
And with that, Rose whispered in No-No's ear. He smiled and nodded. She then gathered up Pete, Alma, Cisco, and Jake, in a hushed tones, told them of her plan. Jake and Cisco hugged Rose, then each other again, then Rose again. Patapsco Pete broke into a wide grin and held a smiling Alma as she burst into tears. Whew.
I wonder what on earth Rose is up to this time.
You got me there, but I reckon it's something big, though.
Delilah May, Jonah, I need to ask you to do something for No-No and I. It would mean the world to me if you said yes.
Oh, of course. What is it, dear?
Well, You know No-No and I are engaged to be married. And everyone I love in the whole world is right here.
Right.
And seeing how Josiah here is a preacher and all, I just kind of figured that...
Oh, are you telling me that you two were going to get married right now? Aren't you?
Yes, I am. And yes, we are. I wanted to ask you and Jonah if you'd walk the aisle with us and, well, give us to each other. We wouldn't be here today without you two. What do you say?
Oh my goodness, my heart just leapt into my throat like a frog on fire.
Do you mean it? We'd be honored.
I am so grateful. Thank you for everything.
And with that, the unlikely caravan set to the task of making a wedding happen on the spot. I love a good wedding. Alma grabbed some ribbon from her costume crate and plucked some wildflowers she'd seen by the stables to make 3 lovely bouquets. Delilah May started fussing over Rose and insisted that No not even look at her until the wedding march started playing. Jonah and Jake crafted a makeshift podium for the Reverend out of an Arbuckle crate and one of Rose's knife targets. Pete procured a couple of small metal rings, usually reserved for harnesses, from the blacksmith. Wow, they were clearly a little big for the soon-to-be wed's fingers. Pete couldn't resist the irony of them being called bridal rings.
Dear friends and townsfolk, we're all gathered to see what may go down in history as one of the most unusual weddings ever conducted. It gives me great pleasure to administer the marriage rites for 2 of the most tenacious and loving souls to ever walk the earth. While I've only just met them, I dare say that our lives have been somewhat intertwined. Won't go into all that now, but rather I'll get the show on the road. Lord knows they've waited long enough for this day to come.
Well, as the ceremony began, Cisco Instrumento played an accordion while keeping time with a foot-mounted tambourine. Jake walked down the aisle juggling at least 5 handkerchiefs, figuring that they'd come in handy for those that got weepy at weddings. They were followed by Delilah May and No, who was dressed in a suit and freshly applied makeup on his face, featuring a painted arm beauty mark that was, of course, identical to the one Rose wore under her veil.
All right, now who gives this man to be married?
I do.
And how did you come to know him?
Well, my husband and I found him face down in the dirt, and we decided to keep him. He's been with us ever since.
I reckon that's not even close to the most unusual thing we'll hear today. Now, Cisco, if you'd be so kind.
Cisco began playing the wedding march, and all the curious townsfolk looked on as he gasped as Rose walked toward the makeshift podium. She was simply radiant. She was wearing a veil made by Delilah May from an antique lace tablecloth. Her dress was a white costume dress borrowed from Alma Flynn. She was also wearing a brand new pair of boots that the Reverend had purchased. He had said that even if one isn't religious, they should take care of their souls. Lastly, she was holding a bouquet of blue wildflowers made by Alma. No was understandably speechless.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. Everything is in order. Now, who gives away this woman?
I do.
Oh, for heaven's sake, are you crying?
No. Well, dang it, maybe a little.
Oh, Jonah, I can't take you anywhere. Jake, give him one of those handkerchiefs before he drowns himself.
Delilah May, if I might continue.
Oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry, preacher.
It's quite all right. Jonah, how do you know the bride?
I met her after she and No had been reunited. And I saw love in their eyes for each other. It was so damn beautiful.
I'm sure it was. So now, if there's anyone who has any reason for these two not to marry, speak now or forever hold their peace. Okay, good. Perfect. Rose, if you would place the ring on Nono's finger. Do you, Rose Dorn, take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, to love, honor, cherish, and defend in sickness and health till death do you part?
Yes, I do, forever and always.
Wonderful. We're halfway there. Now, Nono, place the ring on Rose's finger. Do you, Nono, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife, to love, honor, cherish, and defend in sickness and in health till death do you part?
You'll have to take that vigorous nod as a yes, preacher. Mimes aren't the most talkative types.
Fair point, Pete, fair point. Now the rings have been exchanged, and so by the power vested in me, y'all are husband and wife. No, you may kiss the bride, and let me be the first to congratulate you both. Y'all are married.
Woo! That kiss. Ooh, my. That was beautiful. Ooh, my. That kiss was one for the ages. Now one who saw the lovely couple could hide their joy at their beautiful union. Jonah teared up, and Delilah May shook her head. But she also smiled at the realization that she definitely married the right one. Alma and Pete kissed and grinned like idiots as they held each other close. Jake and Cisco were also teary-eyed as they kissed and shared a long embrace. This ragtag circus family had traveled nearly 2,800 miles in search of a better life. With all that they'd been through, they had more than earned this day. As we leave No-No and his chosen family basking in their happiness, I know you all still have questions. Did they ever open their theater in California? Did Alma and Pete find acceptance in this young nation? Did Cisco and Jake? Did Jonah and Delilah build their home and have a family of their own? Those are all questions for another night. The important thing is that they were all together again, stronger than ever and full of gratitude and love. They all survived their personal journey, and together they created happiness. The end. Now, the fire's growing cold. It's time to hit the sack. Sleep well, my friends. Ooh, yeah.
Well, isn't that sweet? A happy ending. Everyone found who they wanted to find. People kissed. Everyone cheered. Blech! It makes me sick! Whatever happened to good old tragedy? The love of a hero's life dies horribly. He is horribly maimed and disfigured, a pariah in the face of society. Oh, I do love a good tragedy. Next time on Horatio Dark's Between the Lines, meet Bert Sales. He is your average man in your average town. He has an average job, but one day his wife leaves him. His dog up and dies. He contracts malaria and dies in the most horrific way. When he finds his eternal reward, all the angels of heaven laugh at him for pooping himself to death. Join us for a truly magical tale. The Horrible Life of Bert Sales, here on Horatio Dark's Between the Lines.
You just heard The Bell Tolls for No-No by Todd Gardner. featuring Doug Johnson as No-No, Lori Travis as Rose, Becky Hackerman as Delilah May, Josh Gutman as Jonah White, Tim Olenek as the narrator, Chris Allen as Patapsco Pete, Mike Yance as Cisco, Brad Bukowski as Juggler Jake, Kate Smith Morris as Alma Flynn, Todd Gardner as Ansa.
And Josiah Black.
What?
And Josiah Black.
And Josiah Black. Wait. Yeah. That totally happened. Brendan Perry as Sandy and the announcer. John Friedlander as Horatio Dark. And as always, Dave Marcoot and Rin Luby Cohen Bateman on the floor.